Great morning, SDO Isabella. Today, we are with the two of the most performing school leaders of the 21st century, Ma'am Madeline Terte and Sir Samuel Apostol, who will share things about how they continue to face the changes and challenges of the new normal as they navigated the shift to distance learning, while safeguarding the health of their teachers.
Good morning, Ma'am Eileen. We are together with Sir Sam, and we will also be sharing things how we precisely prepared for this reimagined learning experience because of this health crisis.
That's right, Ma'am Madeline and Ma'am Eileen. We already have surpassed one school year, and we look to our education frontliners who brought insight and sparked hope amidst this uncertainty.
Indeed, every personnel in the department deserves our grand salute, sir. Most especially to our school leaders like you who bravely stood out with the call to continue the education of our learners in the comforts of their homes. But what's more moving is how you motivated your teachers to sustain their passion considering the limitless issues brought by this pandemic.
Yes, that's really one of the hardest battles that we have overcome this year. I am glad that my teachers did not give up during the process of adjustment. I'm also happy to tell you that despite their tons of work, we were able to conduct sessions to ensure the continuity of their professional growth.
I couldn't agree more, Sir Sam. Truly, discussion on how to conduct Learning Action Cell really helped us in this new normal setup. And speaking of LAC, we would like to thank Dr. Larina M. Colobong, who spearheaded last year's webinar on the conduct of LAC session and the very reason why we are here again today, as we are bound to recall how it is done and how do we deal with class observation using various modalities.
This webinar series will also showcase various demonstration teaching as we all revisit the RPMS cycle designed for school year 2020-2021, and of course, focusing on the three indicators. So stay tuned as we all have the most powerful speakers and school leaders who will guide you all the way.
At this point, I guess we can start reminiscing how LAC sessions are done. By the way, what are the activities involved in the planning process for a well-planned learning action cell?
Before conducting any LAC session, we have to be guided with how it should be implemented. If you still remember, during our Cascading of Learning Action Cell webinar last year, each session focuses on the activities for pre-LAC implementation, LAC implementation proper, and post-LAC implementation. So for the pre-LAC session, we must undergo steps from setting up the LAC implementation plan, establishing culture and norms, and identifying the menu of school-based learning activities. So specifically, the planning process includes the step 1, gather and assess. This is where we are going to determine the professional needs of the teachers based on the result of DepEd prescribed tools like our IBCRF and RPMS. This must be analyzed, which will lead us to the prioritization of topic or agenda in every LAC session. Our step 2 focuses on the established culture and norms, where we need to form our LAC group with 5 to 15 members, agree on LAC schedule and frequency, determine learning modalities, set up needed resources, and determine shared values, vision, and expectation. For step 3, this will then help us to identify our topics for the whole school year and define our learning outcomes and indicators. For step 4, it is set for the development of LAC implementation plan using the prescribed template. And finally, step 5 includes the formulation or development of progress monitoring and evaluation plan, which will be further discussed by Sir Sam.
That's right. Planning an effective LAC program entails several processes. Also, it is a must for us to know who are the key players involved in the planning process.
Precisely, Ma'am Mads. The key players include our principal or school head like you, who serve as the LAC leader, while LAC facilitator can either be the school head, a master teacher, or a member from the team. We also have the LAC members composed of the teachers either from the same grade level or learning area depending on the group formation and topic. And any member can be the assigned LAC documenter. Also, it is the team's prerogative to invite LAC resource persons, whether from the school or outside organization. All these persons, except the members and documenters, play an important role during the pre-LAC implementation.
Will you also share with us the types of resources we need to tap when conducting LAC?
Yes, sir. Despite the difficulties we encountered in resource management, it is really a must to include LAC in the priority list. Resources could be human or material that should be prepared or set up before the implementation of the sessions. The human resources could be individuals who are tapped as resource persons of the LAC sessions. Material resources could be the supplies, worksheets, videos, equipment, budget, food, venues, and other things needed in the conduct of a LAC session. So basically, the LAC leader or school head shall take the lead in identifying the needed resources, ensuring their availability and sustainability. That is why it is a must to integrate our crafted LAC plans along with the SIP, AIP, and APP.
I am lucky that we were able to find available experts, quality learning materials and facilities, as well as enough fund to conduct LAC sessions, Ma'am Eileen. Will you also share to our listeners when is the best time to conduct the LAC session?
Yes, Ma'am Mads. The LAC members can decide on the schedule, length, and frequency of meetings. Debit Order 35 strongly recommends that LAC session shall be done 1 to 2 hours weekly or a minimum of twice a month. So even amid pandemic, I guess our colleagues really find ways to still conduct LAC sessions, also following the new modality like online sessions and the likes.
Truly, we cannot just conduct LAC sessions anytime we want.
That's true, sir. We must be guided by the issued debit orders and memorandum as well as the toolkit so that our plans won't be put into waste. And at this juncture, we will also listen to the sharing of Ma'am Madeline on how LAC should be implemented.
Ma'am Mads, will you give us the overview on the parts of a LAC session?
LAC session, also known as Facilitated Group Learning Activity, consists of 6 parts. It begins with the preparatory, the sharing of experience, presentation of the new topic, wrap up and application, what to do next steps and agreements, and finally, the closing.
In your observation, ma'am, how can a LAC facilitator ensure the smooth flow of the session?
Setting of ground rules and mood is very important. As a LAC facilitator, you should be very sensitive to their needs physically, emotionally, and intellectually. Saying, "Thank you for coming to our session with a smile" is a good start, besides following the different parts of the LAC session.
What types of experiences are worth sharing during the conduct LAC session, Ma'am Mads?
Yes, Sir Sam. Sharing one's ideas and insights makes the session very relevant. Members of the team can talk about their experiences on the previous topic shared by the resource speaker. They will come to know who tried, and questions like, did it work or not, will be answered. And what follows will be the effective instructional practices, assessment tasks, and skill and content difficulties where everyone has the chance to be heard. This would really make the team as a community of learning. Right, Ma'am Eileen?
Being guided with those sharing will really make every attendee's participation fruitful and productive, ma'am. By the way, what guides the speakers in this process?
The session guide, which is required for a LAC resource person, navigates the flow of the activity. It provides a focus and a reminder for key points like strategies for adult learning and time limit for each part.
During the implementation period, how can the LAC facilitator determine the appropriateness of application activities?
Before the application activity, the LAC facilitator should draw the link between the objectives and the key understanding with the insights of the participants. Confirmation of concepts learned and clarifications to misconceptions are welcome in this part. This might signal then the application activity unique for each session and dependent on the topic delivered. But surely, these are samples of application activities. First, development of instructional materials when the concept, skill, or strategy shared require the use of materials. Second, making or revising an existing lesson plan when a new strategy or instructional approach is introduced. Third, micro-teaching when we want to practice using the strategy being introduced. And fourth, creative group presentation.
That's truly amazing to hear, ma'am. How about having ways forward during these sessions? Why is it important to have it during LAC session?
Ways forward mobilize everyone in the LAC team. Teachers are informed of what is expected of and from them, which includes but not limited to the application of specific plans and what they need to bring the next session. Of course, sharing of insights is most recommended. Agreements will be summarized and documented, and the date, time, venue, LAC resource person, which may come from the team or outside, and documenter are taken in considerations ahead of time.
Being aware with the know-hows of the LAC implementation proper will surely guide our listeners today. But wait, this professional learning activity does not end once it is implemented. We still need to know and recall the basics of post-LAC execution. So, we will have it from Sir Sam this time.
Thank you, Ma'am Eileen. Every activity really needs to be monitored and evaluated.
That's right, Sir Sam. Those strategies will really help us improve our activities the time we conduct them again.
Will you also tell us who is tasked to prepare the hard copy of LAC document for LAC implementation in school year, sir?
The LAC leader or the school head should lead in organizing the LAC and ensuring that practice of holding regular LAC sessions is established, maintained, and sustained. So therefore, the role of the school head is very essential.
Conducting LAC session is really a shared responsibility. After the documentation process, sir, who will have the access to the LAC files and when is the best time to furnish these LAC reports?
All records completed by the documenter shall be filed in the office of the school head. Only the school head or assistant school head has the access of the files. In the absence of both, a trustee teacher may be allowed. The best time to furnish these LAC reports is 2 weeks after the conduct of Program Implementation Review or PIR.
I wish everybody is listening since records are really important nowadays. Things are not considered done without any proof or documents. Sir Sam, will you expound why is reporting necessary?
Reporting is very essential because it provides an avenue for sharing LAC experiences and it helps address challenges that require action.
By the way, sir, how frequent is the monitoring of our LAC activities?
Monitoring should be done from the beginning of the implementation through the stages of development, growth, and sustainability of the LAC. This is during the planning phase, actual conduct of LAC activities, and post-activity phase.
Of course, we also need to expect some lapses on the conduct of these professional activities. For example, what should be done when concerns are needed to be raised on higher level, or what to do when goals are not met.
To answer the first question, the school head or the assigned LAC member shall prepare the report, enclose the filled out monitoring tool and results of the documentation indicating the challenges which needs to be resolved, and endorse these documents to the division office for appropriate action. And for the second question, ma'am, the LAC leader, LAC coordinator, and LAC facilitator will analyze the results of the monitoring to determine the strengths and weaknesses. They can also agree on any intervention or strategy to address the need. Furthermore, the school head can provide feedback to the district or division or regional LAC coordinator for appropriate action.
Thank you so much, Sir Sam, for sharing. I believe the things that we discussed today will greatly contribute to continuing professional development of our teachers through the conduct of learning action cell sessions.
You're right, Ma'am Eileen. This pandemic will not hinder our commitment to develop our teachers' potential and improve their teaching practices towards learners' achievement.
True enough, opportunities like this must be taken by our teachers positively as they keep on demonstrating their enthusiasm every time we call for LAC sessions.
I believe we will all be in the right track once we submit ourselves to these kinds of collaborative learning sessions to solve shared challenges we'll encounter along the way.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, allow us to leave this quote from Benjamin Franklin saying, "Without continual growth and progress, such words as improvement, achievement, and success have no meaning."
We will lead the challenge of this new normal by being the catalysts of SDO Isabela. Keep on moving forward for our learners. Thank you, stay safe, and God bless.